Welcome to the RJI Futures Lab, where we help you make your organization more innovative. I'm Ruben Stern. This week, a new way to measure audience behavior and a tool for managing reporters and content across platforms. One problem with web analytics is that it's not really clear which types of stories resonate most with specific audiences. The American Press Institute is trying to fix that. They've developed software that gives editors more precise data about their content.
How do we understand the decisions we make about our content? Right? Why do we choose to cover what we choose to cover? How do we know if that's really what audiences are reacting to? So we worked on how you would really understand this better. And we came up with this sort of system of measuring your content through meta tagging.
We have built an app that we make available to publishers where we go in and we will show you how to do this meta tagging that transforms your metrics into something that you've customized. We teach you how to do, it's essentially a basic form of content analysis for meta tagging.
We call it metrics for news. You log the journalism characteristics of the stories that you're publishing in this system that we built. You track sort of the enterprise levels and the topics and the authors and these really like journalism specific characteristics. And then we pull in through APIs and data sources all your web analytics about that content and all the social sharing and commenting and a few other things like that. So it's relying upon traditional metric sources like Google Analytics or Facebook or Twitter sharing and things like that.
I think the key here in the future is taking these more sophisticated metrics and then creating a blend that makes sense so that you've imposed your values on the metrics and you're not saying, well, okay, I've got page views, I've got time per visit, I've got this, I've got that. I don't know what to make of them. I don't even know how to weight them. We can do that. We can create essentially an index that's weighted however they want.
What the people in the newsroom are doing day to day is mostly tagging the stories. So they go in and they will go to the stories they've published recently and they'll say, okay, this was a business story and it was a regular daily news enterprise level and it had a photo or it didn't, right? They'll sort of check off all these things, these characteristics about the story. And then they can also go in and run reports and get all the data. We find it takes about 20 seconds per story to do these tags, and it depends on how many things you want to track, but you figure maybe 10 stories a day per editor that's doing this. So most people, it might take some 5 minutes out of their day. And the benefit to doing that is not only that you get access to all this new data, but by having the editors doing that process of tagging every day, they start to really actively think about these characteristics that they're tagging. Some really interesting sort of general trends we see across markets that are almost always true are stories that are done from the initiative of the newsroom. So these would be stories that aren't reacting to breaking news or reacting to an announcement. It's enterprise that no one else would have. Those kinds of stories get usually double or more the engagement and readership and sharing of the stories that aren't initiative stories.
Pricing for the software is based on the size of the newsroom and the amount of information to be tracked. Sonderman said it starts at a few $1,000s a year and goes up from there. You'll find a link to more information along with this video. As the number of digital platforms continues to grow, it can be tough to manage all the various pieces in a newsroom. A tool called DeskNet offers a way to track both the gathering of materials and the distribution of story components. We sat down with the company's founder to learn how it works.
Well, DeskNet is a cloud-based editorial management tool. So what does it mean? In the very core, it's a story planning tool, a very easy to use story planning tool for planning one story for one platform or for multiple platforms, be it 2 or 40. We have customers with 40 platforms. The second part we are covering is very much related to that, and that's the management of editorial appointments. So if you are covering a football match, you need to send a photographer and reporter there, and you need to have it in 1 or 2 story budgets for print and online, for instance. That's all just one entry in DeskNet, makes it very efficient and comfortable to use. And the third part of DeskNet is what we call staff coordination. So you can assign tasks to a reporter, to a photographer. You can manage shifts like the early morning shift, late shift, Sunday shifts, whatsoever, and you see who's available and who's not available. You need somebody right now, then you see it and can assign a task to somebody, for instance. We are not replacing their existing content management systems or editorial systems. We work in conjunction with these systems. There are ways of integrating with these systems, and we're actually working currently on ways to integrate even more deeply with them, and there are integrations with such systems.
DeskNet has already built a large user base in Europe and is now pushing to expand in the United States. And that's it for this report from the RJI Futures Lab. I'm Ruben Stern. We'll see you in the future.